our grand final. So again, thank you to Lethal. Go and check out his Twitch stream if you want to show him some support. It's been a bit of a trouble-filled day as far as the cobwebs in the systems have been concerned on the technical side of things, but we have gameplay to bring you, Andy. It is the grand final. It's Optic. It's Sentinels. For some, it might be called a dream match.
It really is a dream match, and like we said, it's one that we weren't sure if we were going to get this early on in Halo Infinite, but it's here on your screens right now. Make no mistake, the grand finals, Optic Gaming versus Sentinels, and this game number 1, Oddball on Livefire, are going to test these two teams. As a reminder, Optic Gaming is 4-0 on this game type. They have never lost it in tournament play.
Oddball early, though, in the hands of Sentinels. Kills going their way as well, as Lethal's going to be rotating this one towards Tower, and I kind of like this. They're just waiting for those spawns to come in. Trippy will pick up a kill onto Frosty, though. Royal 2 is going to exchange that kill, and now they're getting the information of where the spawns are coming in. So Optic having to push across top middle here. Sentinels will be able to hold this ball for some time. That's just a really, really solid start. Very rare that you see off an opening break. The Oddball being rotated as well.
Yeah, look at this, and even staying alive on the pillars, just dancing back and forth is Lethal. And when you talk about, we called it milky time. I know the Twitch chat also gets a kick out of when we call the milky time or milking the ball time. They particularly, hey, Twitch chat, we watch you guys. We know you guys love that milky ball time, but that is pretty good time on the board. 22 seconds off of just a quick little back tower hold. Those add up on set.
I think the last time I had the milky time was when I was, you know, in preschool. It was one of those weird things where they got the sippy cups out, but that's again a story for another day. As we now see Sentinels trying to move in. That Oddball will be down for now. Mangler in the hands of Lethal. Still looking badass in that bandana as well. 2 kills, 3 kills actually going to go full to Optic Gaming though, so Lethal will be left on his own.
Just going to hang out here bottom middle. You like this play because he's waiting for moments just like that. He will trade out with Ola as well, and going to keep an eye still here on exactly what's going to go down because, you know, enough time on the board there for Optic where they've now taken the lead. And as you see, we also do have a second POV here. That's going to be Lucid from Optic Gaming. So shout out to Lucid and his community as we'll be tuning into both Lucid and Lethal throughout this match to get POVs from both sides. But now it's an Optic Gaming lead with their back tower hold.
Lucy just patrolling over this nest as well. Ola and Trippy going to be top middle. And I'm going to be honest with you, even though we've only got the 2 POVs, it's giving me like early day MLG vibes this at the moment. You know what I mean? You've got the player comms faintly in the background. You've got kind of a couple of little janky setups. I'm kind of loving this, to be honest with you. It's really giving me nostalgia and a throwback to the fact that it's 7 a.m. in the morning and I'm still watching Halo. So it's going to be the ball thrown off the map here. And it's going to be a pretty good start here for Optic Gaming. As they are going to have a lead in the game. The ball going to be stolen away for now as Ola will go down in front of Lucid. They're just trying to find out where those kills are. Lethal taking some damage here from Lucid as well. Maybe just thinking about picking up that sniper rifle, but now it's going to be the heat wave actually. And look at this. He's managed to not only pick that up, but sneak behind the ball carrier as well, and he will eliminate him for a few moments.
And how much damage have we seen Lucid do with this heat wave? He's going to do that play ball himself and now even try to fly back at tower now that the ball has been reset. But I could not agree with you more. Getting a little bit of player comms. And don't worry, we know you guys want to also hear listen-ins during this game. To be honest, we do too, so we're going to make sure to jump into some listen-ins throughout these grand finals as well. But just like that, already a little bit of a lead here now as we take a look, 56-27 in favor of Optic Gaming.
Remember, in these rounds as well, you're heading for that 100-point mark as Pistola is trying to fight against Royal 2 here. Good help coming in from Lucid. Great shots into the player top middle as well. Snakebite going to be re-challenging, but Ola picking up the kill onto Royal 2 means the damage is done here for now, and Ola also picking up a second onto Lethal. And now look at this hold, a little bit unorthodox here, but this is something that they do so well. Optic Gaming recognizing where the respawns are coming in, and that's something that Lucid does incredibly well as well. That's not missed shots.
That's not missed shots, and that's also not missed shots as he just pops a little bit of needler shots into the dead body as well of the side of Sentinels. He's also going to try to sneak away with the sniper, but it looks like a little bit of an engagement here up top for Trippy as well.
Let's see a listen in now with Optic Gaming as they get closer and closer into closing out this first round in our grand final.
Justin, I'm watching you. I'm here, Justin, I'm here. Justin, behind you, scoreboard with sniper. Oh my god.
Nice try.
Hey,
they got weapons, guys. They got weapons. Be careful.
Brad, wait for me. Brad, wait.
Oh, good trade.
Garage going flat. I'm pushing.
Yo, top tower. I'm gonna go low.
I got shot tower. One shot A stronghold.
Guys, I'm gonna play low.
He's in the window.
I need a ball. I got Mangler over here.
Alright, wait for each other. Everyone wait.
He's already bottom mid on me. Bottom mid. He's half shields bottom mid. Going bottom mid to Keydor. He's there with an AR. Be careful. Nice shot.
Sandbag sniping.
Sandbags.
Bottom mid weak with heat wave. One of you guys on ball.
It was PJ.
Joey, I'm coming to you.
He's serious. He's weak in the pit. Roll two.
Door somewhere. Another guy, big door. He's big door with ball.
Nice, that's one.
Roll two.
Slow it down, try and work together, guys.
Two more A strong holds. Nice. Run away. On middle.
I died from camo.
Got one.
Yo,
That was two, that was
one shot on ball. Get an angle. Yeah, push that quick.
Get sniper.
Nice. There's gonna be a guy there. There's gonna be another guy there on Justin. Get to Justin quick, Joey.
They are on Justin on the
He's
spot.
on the pillar. I'm leaving.
Top middle. One shot top middle.
Joey,
Killed. He pushed me instantly.
I'm coming big door.
They drop bottom mid.
Might be in the pillar.
Yo, one shot on ball.
I need this.
That was him. Stay alive. Play tight.
There's a guy bottom mid. Yo, scoreboard, top mid, sandbags, one shot.
So Slate's being picked up here by Optic. They are getting closer and closer to closing out this first round, and you can hear the voice of Lunchbox in the background as well, heavily involved in those comms here for Optic.
Yeah, that's what you'd expect to see. A little bit more time. They'll get to 89, does Optic Gaming in that last stretch, and you saw them just a little bit of coordination required to get back control, but pretty good pressure still from Sentinels. They don't want to go down without a fight here.
Yeah, let's wait for each other.
Play for sniper.
Ammo popping. Fight going down for it as well. Lucid trying to do what he can on the death screen to maybe communicate to his teammates a few things that are going down. Frosty in the feed picking up the kill onto Pistola, and one rogue player over here at green doing a lot of damage. Trippy will pick up one, but it will be Snakebite who wins the 1v1 versus Lucid. Royal 2 with the ball in hand, trying to do what he can to just survive for now, and he actually manages to survive by the looks of things. APG will fall on the push, but the Optic Gaming squad starts to look to swarm in on these players around that oddball.
Yeah, Trippy's also flanking pillars with Snipe.
Oh
Take a
my.
look at that, and that's actually been a few kills exchanged there, so this is not over just yet. Not crazy to think that Sentinels could bring this back. 89 to 69, 20-point game.
Justin, I'm here. I'm pushing
Ola wins a really big fight though, but look at this spawn. Coming in for Optic Gaming. The oddball just out of sight for them, though, as Royal 2 has managed to rotate it away. And like you say, they're only a few moments away from tying this game up or maybe taking the lead. But that shot from Lucid is going to put Royal 2 down for a second. There's lethal. There's a triple. And that is how you calm the nerves if your name is Lucid.
Oh my God. And if we needed anything to pop this game open, it's Lucid just grabbing Snipe top sandbox. He's not even done yet on the death screens after the round is over. And just as quickly as we said, Sentinels had tied up the game, Optic Gaming just brings it back. All you need is Lucid with a sniper rifle top mid, and he takes down 3 players, easy triple. Look at him also. Take a look at Lucid's movement here. He's hitting these drop slides and these curve slides at a much higher rate than anyone else in the game. He's also going to hit this back whack. Like we're saying, there are players that are weeks ahead of others in terms of movement in this game, and Lucid is one of them.
Oh my God.
Almost pulls off a trade there as well.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest with you. That triple kill has just lit a fire under Lucid. He is illuminating the scoreboard now, and he really is starting to heat up. APG feeding off the back of that as well with a nice little quick scope and a clean up with the BR. And the ball early on in the hands of Optic Gaming. But going back to your point, the movement of Lucid is something that really does have to be noted. It's just moving constantly as quickly as possible from point A to point B, whether it's slides, whether it's repulsors, whatever it might be, he's always involved in the fight.
He really is, and he's hitting every single drop slide and curb slide that we talk about. And if you're not familiar with those, make sure to check out Shyway's videos both on Twitter and YouTube to see exactly what we're talking about with those exact mechanics. Nice little double kill from him as well over at Pillars and Closet. We'll pick that one up. But there are certain pieces of geometry that you can slip right off and get so much momentum and slide straight through. And when you do that, you save yourself so many seconds, and you can get places across the map so much quicker than your opponents. Also hitting repulsor jumps top middle. Like we said, really just showcasing what movement in Halo Infinite can look like.
There's the reverse Santa to take him back up to top middle here on live fire. And now you're going to see him finally being slowed down. And 28-0, even with Lucid doing all this work, Optic haven't got out of hand, haven't got away from Sentinels, which is so important. Finally, it's looking like Sentinels will be able to get some semblance of a control, but apart from that, that's been the first time we've really seen Sentinels showing some presence on the map. We've been watching a lot of the POV of Lucid, and he's just made the game look very simple.
Right now trying to set up this jump also to top tower. We'll see if he hits this one. Not the easiest jump, as you could tell, if a guy like Lucid's having trouble with it. Not the easiest jump to hit, but definitely one to try out in your own gameplay as well. Just going to repulsor up. He's going to take the fast route up top, and he just so happens to get the back whack on Frosty because Frosty was also checking to see if anyone was jumping up top tower as well. The timing there, a little bit lucky for Lucid. He will repulsor jump up top, and that will continue the lead here. But like you said, Sentinels has brought this game back into a respectable distance here. 43-20 right now.
Camo in the hands of Sentinels, though. You see the call out coming in from Lucid. Can they get the trade? That's really big coming in from Pistola just to make sure that power-up doesn't have a huge influence. And I mentioned, like you were saying, how the score wasn't out of hand, but now it is starting to look a little bit like it could be getting out of hand. They're already 1-0 down in rounds here, Sentinels, in our game number 1, and with only 20 points on the board to 63 and counting, it's getting a little bit desperate here, and holding off this push might be the way towards the end of this first game.
Great play there. Drops down. Even though he dropped down into yard, he actually still checks an angle past pillars, and it's little things like that that make such a difference as we take a look at Trippy just top tower holding, thinking about maybe playing the ball as 2 are dead. A drop shield's going to go as well to give them a little bit extra cover, but the ball will be played, and instead it's going to be Sentinels on the ball right away.
Big kill, though, coming in to slow him down, Lucid. Snakebite's bringing that ball towards pillars, and that's away from the spawners of Optic Gaming, so a really good bit of awareness. Look at the kill feed now, as they always say, for these team fights. Snakebite doesn't have much support and not many places to try and rotate from, but Lethal getting that kill, even though it's traded out, is going to give the information away. But look at Pistola. He's picking up 2 ahead of Lucid, and now that is just going to be the swarm coming in now from Lucid and Co. The man is just... he's putting on a show, Andy. There's no other way to put it.
I mean, are you kidding me? Just like so casually dropping off of Nest Bridge to hit the no-scope to finish the kill pillars, just making it look so easy. And now here they are at the 85-point mark. Of course he's going to hit this shot as well. Just really not missing and showing exactly what you need to do as a sniper on ice.
Oh, my word.
I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know what to say.
Lucid's winning the game. That's all you have to say, because as the clock pops past 99 to 100, that will be a 2-0 oddball win. And again, Optic Gaming hold their 100% record on live fire. And I tell you what, this man Lucid, words fail me sometimes on the things he's been doing on this game.
It's been amazing. Of course, I also think it could really blow this series open. Game 2 is going to be Slayer on Recharge. If you're just joining us, you picked a great time to join here for some late night and early morning Halo. It's Sentinels versus Optic Gaming. Optic Gaming leads the series 1-0, but a little remote detonation comes in from Lucid.
Yeah, what a start that is. I mean, if you shoot the nades as a starting strategy and it works for you, it's going to turn into double kills. So Lucid knows every single little thing that you can do on this game to gain an advantage. It's something that we keep hammering home. And he's showing it again at the start of this one. 4-1, the perfect start here for Optic.
As we even talked about earlier in the broadcast, I do think players are going to start to deny grenades more often than going to pick them up or even trying to remote detonate anyone. I think it's going to be a matter of avoiding getting remote detonated, and you might see a really interesting dynamic with grenades kind of start to develop. But speaking of interesting developments, now 5-4, just like that, Sentinels answers back.
Yeah, really important that they did so as well. Frosty has the shock rifle, but look at this sneaky little area and the sneaky little corner being played. It's only going to turn into 1 kill, though, and this is looking like a really, really strong response here, as Frosty's going to be chased bottom middle, but chased bottom middle. He's chasing Ghost because that grapple is going to get him out of dodge. You can see how frustrating that was from an Optic Gaming point of view.
Credit to Royal 2 there. He went from control into C, and in order to double back, he went top window, which did catch Lucid off guard. A very nice play from him, and just like that, we're still about tied up here all the way to the 10 kill mark, but 9-8. Sentinels actually responding back after being down about 5-1.
Lethal going to be trapped between 3 players. Trade will come in as that grenade will fall to the ground and explode to get that kill. Teammates trying to move in. APG has the shock rifle as well, so he's going to be able to command a lot of those lines of sight and kind of trap Sentinels in. That's one thing you have to be aware of as well. Not just having the shock rifle for the one-shot kill potential, but knowing as a player that it's so difficult to make those crosses because of it, kind of traps you in those areas, and it's difficult to fight out of.
Pops a pistol in the hand of Lucid, connects a little bit with bottom elevator as well, and it's going to be a flank, though, for some teammates. They should be able to clear this out, Optic.
They should do indeed. Let's actually jump into a listen in here. Let's boost the comms and see how Optic are communicating as they try and go 2 up in the series.
I got Brad's help.
Nice shit, Brad.
I'm right here, Brad.
Shit, Brad. Yo, Brad, there's equipment down bottom mid. There's equipment down bottom mid.
Grab and grab.
Too long, guys. Too long, too long.
You're on your own, Joey.
I got needed. I'm backing up.
You suck.
Nice. One dead. No one dropped on repulsor.
Hear that, hear that.
We got him.
Too long. One's weak. One shot, roll 2, one guy. He's in the sneaky.
I'm holding tower, guys. I'm holding tower.
In the sneaky, and one's top yellow.
Top yellow.
There's 3 there. They're all there. The whole team's yellow. Pushing long haul, guys.
Joey, hold like attic, maybe.
Pushing up on us. Careful.
Pushing out.
Starting
Top yellow, top yellow. I'm here, Justin. I'm here. I'm here, Justin.
They're gonna push me.
Brad, I'm here. Brad, I'm here. Get your shields, get your shields.
It was Snake Fight, Nerd Slayer.
And
You're by yourself, Joey.
Roll 2 was here too. Roll 2 was here. I'm gonna check behind.
They're not here. They're not here anymore.
They're spawning. They're spawning.
Yeah, I'm here, Brad. I'm
Got
here.
him. Shot rifle down.
One more.
I'm pushing down.
I think I just hit him off the map.
Down.
Yep.
All
Nice, good job. It's up
I
back.
know.
Yo, guys,
Bottom
listen.
center.
I got away.
Yo,
Yeah,
one's elevator, one's elevator.
Me or some bullshit.
Yo, boxes, boxes.
They should all be yellow right now, guys. They should all be yellow. Joey needs help.
Got one. I'm going to yellow.
Atlas, coming out.
Shot L pipes.
Yeah, yellow pipes backing up. Last guy yellow, Brad. Last guy yellow.
Out him.
Nice shots.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna grab a shot.
Well, I mean, when we were here a moment ago, it was a very close game, but Optic have started to dominate 27-18 now the score, and even with a couple of kills going to Sentinels now, Optic are starting to control things.
So impressed not only with that shock rifle shot, but also with the comms coming out of Optic. I don't think anyone expected anything different, but Lunchbox sounds so great, and you might have heard just how much of an in-game leadership role Lucid is taking, saying, Joey, maybe take this, maybe take that. All 4 players are yellow. Things like that are really standing out, and it's clear that he does have an in-game leadership role. Also, how calm was he on just repulsoring a player off the back of the map at C? Just a great performance here from Optic, and now they have a huge 12-kill lead already in this game, too.
Lucid almost managed to snap onto the head of that player in the background as well. Ola and Trippy are picking up kills here, 32-19, and even though Sentinels have been giving it their all in this game and in this series so far, they just haven't been able to match up to Optic Gaming, Andy. I don't mean any disrespect, but Optic are just showing how good they are as a roster here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's important that we indicate to people who might be checking out, competitive Halo for the first time, or maybe Halo Infinite for the first time. Specifically, this Sentinels team, very, very talented roster and known as some of the best players to ever play the game and world champions throughout many of our recent years of Halo. So it just shows you that Optic Gaming right now really in charge of these specific game types. We'll have to see if Sentinels can bounce back, but right now this game too looks like all Optic Gaming all the way.
Oh my word, Lucid, look at how quickly he maneuvers around the map at the moment. It's not a case of holding down one particular spot. He'll take a shot, then he'll relocate. He'll take another shot, then relocate, and it's just causing Sentinels so many issues because they don't know where to focus their attention. With Lucid running around like he is and just shooting from so many different angles, you're just worried about anyone pushing you from anywhere. It's so difficult to get any kind of presence on the map as APG picks up a big double.
Perfect slide jump off of C-Plat right up to the double stack, right outside bottom control, and they're all getting across the map, being everywhere they need to be. Look at all of Optic Gaming. There's a perfect push there from Ola and Lucid. They push in the back of the base, and right away, you see Ola off screen. He's rotating to control with Trippy right away as well. So it is amazing to watch the movement here from this entire Optic Gaming side. Like we said, we've been watching this from Lucid's POV, so that's the POV we're commenting on the most here. However, credit once again to this whole Optic team. They're up 43-22.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted a statement, this is a statement. Heat up the barbecue, turn on the grill, get the steak ready. Make sure you get it seasoned as well. We don't want any of that dry steak around here. And this is looking like we might be ready for that, Andy. I mean, who would have thought Sentinels would be getting staked on any kind of game type, on any kind of map here in Halo? It doesn't happen very often. Even with the shock rifle for Frosty, it doesn't matter because Lucid, he's just running around the map like a man possessed.
He is, and then great job from Ola there. He kept rotating back from elevator over to control, just assisting whoever he needed to as well. And just like that, we only have 4 kills to go for Optic Gaming. Steak is on the menu.
They're all over long. They're all over long.
47-26.
No,
That might be 48. No, wow.
Great play there from Snakebite.
Unbelievable shots coming in from Snakebite to at least keep this close. And maybe Optic are thinking that they're getting a bit carried away with this. Maybe the steak's going to have to be put back in the fridge for a few days.
It might be. Steak was on the menu, but like we said, Sentinels now putting up a good fight to make sure that's not the case. But here we go now, 48-29.
I couldn't tell what he was doing.
And it is going to be still hovering over the grill for now. 1v1, Snakebite. You need to win this one. It's not going to happen, and it is going to be a steak dinner by the looks of things. 50-30. No, it's not on the menu. We'll get a hold now. Look for those respawns. They are flying at them and keeping on the staggered spawns, which is making it so difficult. And to be honest, nigh on impossible for Optic to try and fight back. But maybe this is the opportunity for them to start that fight back. We are 2-0 in the series now. Optic Gaming in this best of 5. Just need one more game to close out the grand finals. And just to remind you, not just to go back-to-back, but to put the 3P on the board.
That's right. That's what's at stake here. Optic Gaming making an enormous statement, potentially, if they win this game number 3, heading into our first Halo Infinite LAN in just a few weeks in Raleigh, North Carolina. But let's not forget, we have a game 3 for a reason, and we're in a best of 5 for a reason here. Sentinels has the chance to send us the distance here in the series. Who needs to sleep? We certainly don't need to sleep. We're going to see what happens in this game number 3. It's going to be oddball on streets.
Purple. Purple.
Pretty sure that my doctor would say something slightly different. However, that's a conversation for me and him to have in private.
They're spawning C.
He's a registered doctor, unlike you, unfortunately, ahead of the big team battle thing, Andy, as well. Well, Lucid with some good shots across the map here onto the balcony. A and B in control of Optic, and this is already worrying signs to start with. This is the hold that you want to work from if you are Optic Gaming.
Definitely. This is the hold they're going to be comfortable with. They're going to leave the opponent at back tram, and actually they're going to cap back tram as well. They're not content with just the double. Optic Gaming is out for blood. They're looking for the trip cap already just a minute into this game.
He's just challenging.
Lucid managing to slide and evade all these grenades as well. It's as if they don't exist to him. And look at this. He's keeping up the pressure onto this player. Doesn't manage to quite get the kill, but it'll be traded. I should say it should be finished off. The assist will be chalked up to his name as Pistola was the player to get in position. 21-9. Now BC set up. And look at this flooding to defend B. And if they leave C, then they might be able to flood over to A. Big win coming in from Lucid against Snakebite. That 1v1 might change the dynamic of this match.
That was get taken out by that PD Balk, which is such a great angle to have, such an important one. It's good to see Sentinels already taking control of that. And now Lethal on his point of view. Also going to take a look bottom middle to see what they might be able to do. A little bit of an early deficit, but certainly nothing they can't come back from and regain control here in just a moment.
A and B in their control for now. Player up on the balcony as well. Lucid slides and manages to evade the damage for now, as Frosty will work with Lethal to clean that kill up. And it looks like they're trying to force onto C here, but look at the rotation that's actually come in as well from Optic, recognizing the pressure was coming. Escaping to B, the rockets are going to be up as well, and it looks like Frosty will be working with Royal 2, and it will be a BC setup being attempted here, as you see the push on to B as they try and take that back from Optic Game.
Great communication there from Sentinels. You heard Lethal saying Ola's here as well. That's why he was front C just looking around. Eventually Royal 2 comes back to help and gets the back whack, but really great comms. You need to make sure you're clearing out the back of this tram base regardless of game type. You cannot have another player from the other team anywhere near this tram base if you want to establish any level of control.
Triple can cap in effect though for Sentinels. You mentioned the word control. Sentinels have everything they could possibly want. As well as that, Royal 2 is going to give them the first kill. Frosty's going to give them the second. They haven't got the reset as well, so there might be a chance to keep this triple cap. You can see the desperation for A is not going to work for Lucid to try and stem the bleeding on this push.
Oh no.
And these points are really starting to stack up now as they cross that 90-point threshold.
Trippy gets the double there. A little bit of a trade out of stick for Royal 2 there, so recovers just a little bit there, but not aware that there was a player behind them at B, and maybe just a little bit of a mistake from the Sentinel side to watch all of their angles to make sure that a player did not sneak through. But that was a strong set of points that come on the board for Sentinels, and maybe this is the sign of life they needed there. They lead here 101-40. It's a sizable lead. If they play this right, they can continue on with the success.
Pistola gets the kill. Excuse me. APG falls. Royal 2 managed to pick up one in the feed as well, trying to keep this pressure onto C. Pistola will re-challenge though onto Lethal, and that's a big win from Pistola in that 1v1. B and C still in control. Oh, Sentinels. Oh, excuse me, of Optic Gaming for now, but as I say, they do manage to turn it over, so scoring pretty close at this point, as you would expect between these two teams, but at least Sentinels are in this game as we get to that kind of 100-point mark, and that's all they could ask for after what was a little bit of a disappointing start to the series.
Yeah, certainly here, still leading here at this point, and even though they lost control just now, going to look to quickly regain it. That battle's still happening between Lethal and Trippy, and you saw Trippy pre-nading Neons, Lethal pre-nading A, and a really good back and forth between those two. I wonder how it ends. It's going to be Trippy who ends that battle over there at top Neons as we now switch back over to Lucid.
Lucid going to be inside of C. Pistola trying to make a cheeky flank. You can see in front of him, this is a really big kill, and it's going to be picked up by Royal 2, but look at Lucid. Without taking him with him, gets that stick as he thrusts towards him. C now going to be patrolled by Trippy, and A and C is the hold here from Sentinels, but look how quickly C is going to be transferred. As I say that, look how quickly B is going to be transferred. It's just a constant rotation battle at the moment. Lucid can't win the battle against Snakebite, even though he was down shot. Snakebite manages to clean that one up, and Sentinels are doing a good job at the moment of just holding off Optic Gaming and controlling the pace of this game, which is something they struggled to do in game 1 and 2.
Lethal trying to stay alive here at Arcade, just inches away from the Halo theme. If he can go ahead and get into B, it's a great move against Ola. Look at that play from Lethal, and you have to wonder, is this the moments of brilliance, the signs of life that Sentinels needed to get back into this series? And shout out, of course, to our stats man Dan Gaskin, who was the one to point out about those winning records and the fact that this is not a perfect game type for Optic, and this is finally a chance for Sentinels to get back into this series, still leading in this game.
B and C still in their control as well. Or should I say, actually been turned over to Optic Gaming. You'll notice the player outlines are changing as we change POVs, so have to bear with us as our eyes adjust as well. We've been here for a while. A couple of nades going down from Lethal. Frosty picks up the kill onto Lucid. APG will trade it out almost immediately. There's a big grenade coming in from Pistola, and now the assault on A starts to happen for Optic.
And right now,
Rockets,
going
guys.
back to
Rockets.
Lucid here, and like you said, they're going to convert A, and you hear Lucid saying Rockets, Rockets, as they are now appearing bottom middle. We'll have to see who grabs these. Could be a big turning point. They have been grabbed by Sentinels.
One kill will be picked up as well by Snakebite with those rockets you talked about. A second will be picked up as Lucid looks a little bit lost bottom middle. Last player alive looks like it will be Trippy here. So AB still in the control of Optic for now, but Sentinels trying to make a move across the map. They managed to confirm A. They've also confirmed B. And they've also have C in their possession for just a few moments here. This is a triple cap for Sentinels, although the bleeding has been stemmed over a C.
Take a look here as we're still on board with the Optic Gaming side, and they have taken the lead by just a bit. But to be honest, these two teams essentially tied right here, 135 and 138. It sounds like we got a listening ready. We'll wait for confirmation on exactly which team we'll be listening into. But like we said on set, you couldn't really ask for a better game. Number 3 between these two sides. We're going to jump into a listening now with Optic Gaming, who's just taken the lead.
Shot one of them twice. I'm looking out for you.
Yo, lightning.
Or Tommy.
Lightning, drop on me.
Losers.
There's 2 guys there on A. One's going fucking lightning or something.
PD weak, Frosty. Might get D.
Nade actually rocks me.
Top ID,
Top
one
A.
PD.
Stay alive.
Go see, go see.
Go see. One's top,
There could be a guy here.
top balcony. Yep, top
Still there, we got
balcony.
him again. He's still there, he's not pushing it. He's coming now, I think.
I need help. I'm getting out.
I'm coming to see, making sure.
I could.
Where is it? Where is he?
Yeah, we're not sure.
He's up top. There's 2 there. I think there's 2 there, Tommy. You really.
Yeah, I'm gonna back out. They got the reset on C. Behind me at
Go
C.
to A. Let's go to A. Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck this
There's one
place.
hiding at A, I think. I'm leaving B. Top cat.
I'm shooting at top cat. I'm gonna kill top cat in a second.
Yeah, cuts, please, real.
Yeah, cuts.
Well, the intensity of the series being reflected in the comms here. Some, once again, a little bit of fruitful language from the players. Apologies if that's something you don't enjoy, but that's where we are at the moment. That's the spirit of competition, right, Andy?
Yeah, boxes.
That's right. Some choice words coming from the Optic side, both some directed at their opponents, but mostly, honestly, just enthusiastic commentary that you heard there from kind of in their comms. Just like you said, there's a lot of intensity here, and we were just tied right around the 164 mark, and we're going to be tied once again right at the 171 mark.
Lethal manages to get a kill on A, though, and that's going to take the attention away from A, and Lucid recognized that almost immediately, moving towards C. So it looks like it could be a trade across the board, unless there's going to be someone sneaking behind him. Yes, there is. Frosty recognizing this situation and getting the kill on Lucid is going to allow Sentinels to start scoring.
And once again, Sentinels still putting points on the board. This has undoubtedly been Sentinels' strongest performance of the grand finals. I think everyone watching will agree as well. Good shots from Lucid onto A Balk. PD Balk. We talked about just how important that is. He has a little bit more work to do at C, though.
I mean, if you're winning battles against Royal 2 in that kind of way where you still got half shields, yes, he had the thrust, but it just shows that the man fears no one after this hot start to Halo Infinite. Lucid will get confirmed conversion over a C. They have B as well, and even though Sentinels do have a lead here of 192 to 180, our team who are scoring, well, their name is Optic Gaming.
A little bit of a Homer Simpson gift there as a player comes out of tires, gets shot once by the stalker rifle, and thinks, actually, you know what, I'm going to actually go right back into tires because I don't really want anything to do with that stalker rifle, to be honest. But just as quickly as we say that, it is back and forth once again, 190 to 192. These two teams so close. Sentinels desperately trying to hang on in this series. If Optic wins this, it'll be over.
Well, as I try to recompose myself, as all I can see right now is a Homer Simpson gif going across my mind in front of my eyes. I've got to focus on the game. 205 to 190 now. It is still Sentinels who are scoring. They've moved within 43 points of closing this down, but with C being changed over and A swapping hands, and once again it's going to be that fight for B, which is going to decide how this game does swing.
Absolutely. Now Lucid wins a battle there, pivotal at C, and you hear his commentary also just to his team saying there's another player weak at ball spawn. Eventually he will fall, and that's going to be a nice play from Frosty. 215 to 190. Sentinels still looking very strong.
You're good at B. You're good.
I'm going down at A. Optic will hold, and Optic will convert B. That's the big moment here. It looks like Sentinels decided that they were going to give up B and exchange it for rockets. However, the two rockets do not connect for any kills whatsoever, so they're out of commission, and now Optic Gaming have control of A and B, and this might be their chance to regain this lead.
And what happens back at A is really important. APG, I think, just picked up another kill, yes, in the feed. Those will be traded out, though. Lucid was looking down from tires to try to find out where rockets are. A little bit of chaos here in our final moments of this match. 216 to 205. Once once again. These two could not be closer, and Optic is scoring once again.
Yeah, you just saw Trippy in the death cam of Lucid for a few seconds there. That was such a vital 1v1 for him to win a seed, to keep control of it. And now they are going to slide their way into a lead. 220 to 216. B&C in control of Optic as they look to close out this grand final.
And what does Sentinels do to answer back? Just like that, it's about to be 230, only 20 points away. What looked like it was going to be a Sentinels win, right now looking like maybe it was going to be an Optic, but not just 3 dead. It's about to be a triple cap conversion coming in from Sentinels.
Don't poke that.
They need to stop this as quickly as possible. It goes without saying here. Optic Gaming going to be stacking up over at A. They don't get the full conversion, but they do eventually get that into their control. 231 to 230, all tied up now with just around 20 seconds to go, or 20 points available in this game. It will be Sentinels who take the lead.
What a kill from Snakebite with the Bulldog. Look at that. Sentinels takes the lead at the 240 mark. Just like that, they will gain a 10-point lead. C gets stopped. So as a reminder, in Halo Infinite, if you start to convert a stronghold that is a scoring stronghold, everything will stop. You need to maintain control. Sentinels still scoring here.
Top rail.
Sentinel scoring for now. Lethal trying to fly into Tram and win this fight. He's going to have some help from his teammates as well. Gonna do it. Sentinels will answer back. In our game number 3, we got more Halo Infinite going your way. It's the never-ending tournament, and I'm all here for it.
250 to 231, the final score from Sentinels, and they managed to close that out. They keep composure in what we said was one of Optic Gaming's weaker game types, one that they are not so solid on, and Sentinels strikes. They capitalize, they take advantage, and most importantly for them, they close strong and stay alive in the tournament. Here's a look at the stats.
Looking across those stats, we didn't quite get to catch them, but this is the most important statistic. It's 250 to 231, and Sentinels showing once again that Optic Gaming games can be taken off of them, but you have to hope those game types with the way they're playing are in your favor. One of the next ones, Andy, is one that might be able to go Sentinels' way once again, as Optic Gaming have shown this is a map they can drop.
Man, and like we said, you couldn't write these stories, folks. By the way, once again, a huge shout out to all of us who didn't catch the first week of play, might not know. We've had grand finals that played out exactly like that with the 50-49 Slayer. Let's take a look.
I sound like a madman, but this has already happened.
Let's take a look at how this one opens up. An overshield death is going to happen right away. So Dynamo nades will go to Lucid. That's going to give him a little bit of denial of area, and that's going to lead to an overshield grab off of the opening for Optic Gaming.
One shot.
Denial of area.
One shot Bulldog. One shot Bulldog.
Sounds a little bit like a tag team from the early 90s, but it's just about the dynamo grenades and how they're able to cut off different areas of the map. Lucid's going to be traded out there. Trippy will have the rockets, and I think the Pistola actually had the overshield to work with as well. So once again, the opening strategy here from Optic Gaming incredibly strong, and they're already pressurizing Sentinels inside of their base.
And going to be interesting to see how the play styles on these two teams line up. Which teams are pulling when they don't necessarily have a man advantage? Which teams are forcing certain routes through tree or bottom middle versus something like a rocket run? Going to be a little bit of clash of play styles here as we take a look at Lethal and finds 2 players there on the truck side.
PJ, where's Tony?
Those 2 players were taken down by Pistola. So numbers are Optic Gaming's for now. Lethal now fighting back through his double doors, and look at that flag. It's already being moved across the map, and it's looking like Optic Gaming might be in a position here to put that first flag on the board. APG was the player who was running it home. Even with Snakebite picking up 2, this might be something crazy that's about to happen. What has Snakebite just done? Has he just picked up a triple? He's managed to stop this flag right at the last second. Oh my word, Captain Clutch Snakebite. I'm not sure how you done it, but the return will come in from Sentinel. What just happened?
We're going to have to watch the VOD because that was an incredible play. Like you said, Sentinels coming all the way back. They send a lot of players, but Snakebite was the first man in, picking up an insane number of kills. And something went down in the back of that base, some unspeakable things that we'll have to find out about later. But now Sentinels wants to create a run of their own.
A little bit of frustration there from Lethal as he doesn't get the beatdown maybe that he was hoping for and maybe deserved in that situation.
Okay, he's on flag. On roof. I'm in tree with you. I'm not trying to go out here.
Now a little bit of a reset. You can see the flag
Okay.
is still out, but now will be returned. So we're back to a stalemate after some huge plays on both sides. It felt like for a second that Optic Gaming were guaranteed to go up by 1, and then with the big kills coming in, maybe Sentinel's going to be able to get the cap, but it's 0-0. That's the final saying here as Lucid will take down Lethal.
PJ, in our tree.
Nice play there as we take a look on the death screen. Lethal about to pop as well, just spectating here on a death cam and watching a little bit of carnage in the back of the base as well. And off of this respawn, going to have to make a decision pretty quickly.
Lethal going to be last alive here for Sentinels by the looks of things. Just trying to find any kind of bodies to do some damage to, but The frag grenades will not be connecting for now, as Lucid now, as we jump over POVs to Optic Gaming. And I'll tell you what, Andy, let's jump into a listening here. It's tied up at 0-0. With the power weapons coming up in around 5 seconds, it's going to be the comms that decide where these go.
Big door is weak. He's just sitting big door, sitting big door.
Dude, I got pushed.
Run away. You're on the alley.
He's going
Rocket
alley.
Shoddy down there.
I'm with you, Tommy. You guys gotta get the
Yo, Shotty's still down here. Shotty is still down here.
I'm shooting their cubby.
Hit me with that.
I'm watching their cubby right now.
That bulldog's down right there, Brad.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Their
like,
cubby.
I'm gonna back up. Yo, guys, get into our BR. Get the, yeah, there you go.
Here,
There you
I'm
go.
here, I'm here.
There's a guy at their cubby right now.
the BR room really big.
I don't know right now. He's I gotta get out.
Yeah, I wasted rockets. They're out.
Wake up front base. Watch out for base.
We're doing the cubby.
I'm getting our big door in a second.
Weak their copy, guys. Weak their copy.
I'm getting our big door and I'm pushing out.
I grab him.
I'm getting an angle right now.
The cubby weak, so.
Their
Cubby,
right now,
pushing out. Frosty pushing.
Pushed out. He's right here. I'm
He's
in
on
the middle.
shockers, one guys.
Yo, they're pillars. They're pillars.
I've got double native from to their rocket side.
Shot
One's
the
on
alley. He's got bulldog on him. Absolute alley.
Joey, I'm watching your front base.
Doesn't have bulldog yet. He's gonna go our side.
Overshield inbound.
Watch out under me. Watch
Yo,
out.
top rocks, Joey. Top rocks, our side. Top rocks, our side.
OS, guys. OS, they're gonna go for OS.
Bottom middle on overshield.
Yo, our pillars one shot. Our pillars one
I
shot.
got OS.
One shot of pillars. One shot of pillars.
Full overshield. He's
That's
bottom middle
two
with
dead.
me.
That's two
I'm beating
dead.
him out. He's
Enemy?
bottom middle with me.
Alright, that's three.
You dead. In the middle of the map, too.
I'm shooting him. He's going to cubby.
Yeah, go our truck right now.
Hiding here.
Got him.
Stay alive, Brad. Don't
Nice.
poke. Don't poke.
RBR. There's either tree. He has 2 shots. I'm looking at it.
Go push out.
I'm gonna go alley right now. I'm going alley right
Go
now.
under. Go. I'm going top, Tommy. I'm going top.
Here, yeah.
Royal 2 still there. Tree right now. I have
I
shots.
hear that.
Look at
Nading
alley.
it.
He's alley. He's trench. Nice job.
I'm pushing up. They're gonna be in the BR room.
I need a BR.
They're in the BR right now.
Double door weak. Double door weak.
Pushing him.
I'm pushing their BR. I'm pushing their BR. Hear that. Hear that.
I missed.
Yeah,
Shot the big
don't
door.
count.
Shot the big
Cubby.
door.
One's around our cubby.
Snake bite.
Yeah.
Their flag.
Yeah, he's just soaring at us.
Pushing. All good. Went back to our flag.
On their BR. He's pushing up.
There's a guy in our cubby, Joey. There's a guy in our cubby. Still in our cubby. Might push Joey. Try to get our BR. Get our BR.
I'm getting our BR.
RBR's one shot. RBR one shot. Hey, he's fucking snake bite. Our cubby right now. Our jump up, guys.
Had it thrust down.
Dude, he's our.
Bridge two there.
Yeah, our bridge. Just live up top. Oh, they're pushing.
door,
They're
big
pushing
door,
our BR.
Push out our big door.
3 in our flag. We gotta get through, Joey. We gotta get through.
Get out.
He's still
3 pushing our base. You guys gotta work together.
Joey, I'm gonna get up top.
Spike obtained.
Y'all need to get up in the BR and live.
We have eyes on the
I have a bulldog on me.
Spawning up right now.
Tommy, I'm
Yo,
gonna
there's a
get
guy
that
there
tree.
cubby. I hear that. There's a guy there cubby.
Clear, concise comms from the side of Optic Gaming, as we're going to see a flag being pulled here by Sentinels. So Snakebite's trying to put the pressure onto Lucid, and not only putting the pressure onto him, escaping with his life. As I say, that will be traded out, but that flag is still on the run. Trippy will pick up the kill onto Frosty, though, and he's trying to survive for now, and it looks like the kills are going down in their favor, so it's looking like they might be able to jump on that read pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll see what Lethal's able to do here. Bottom middle. Ola trying to get very crafty and creative there with maybe a little bit of backpack ninja. Does not come in for him, though.
Touch on the flag, though. That means it's going to be a second set of kills that will have to be picked up, by Optic Gaming if they want to send that one home. It has been sent home, though, so the read does come in. We're back to the position we found ourselves in just a few moments ago. Well, there's going to be jumping up the front of the base. Actually cancels the clamber and re-challenges. Stays alive as well. Great pressure from Pistola there.
Yeah, great pressure and confidence from Pistola. A little bit of a thrust here on the doorway. Anyone who's played enough ranked knows that you can get a little bit jukey and crafty there with a thrust on that doorway at bottom. Rockets and trying to grapple away is APG. That I was wondering when that grapple was going to be picked up. It sat bottom mid a little bit longer than it normally does, but on set, one thing we should talk about is based on what we've seen in tournament play these past 2 weeks, we've seen more flags on the board than not in Bazaar games, and this one's still 0-0, just kind of indicating how tight these teams are on this game time.
Yeah, 5 minutes or so left, so it's getting to that point now where one flag might change or might be the result of this game. Mangler in the hands of Lethal. Drops down, but isn't quite connected in the way that maybe he wanted to. Lucid's going to make him pay for that as well. Frosty will trade things out. But Rocket's in the hands here of Sentinel, so they might have an opportunity to push forward. That's 3 dead for Optic. Sentinel's trying to push up the map, but as you can see, Lucid has survived once again for now. He's found himself a bulldog, and he's just going to be a pain behind enemy lines.
That's right, and we say it all the time, one flag really can be the difference on CTF Bazaar, but now with 4.5 left or just under that, you have to think one flag really could be the deciding one here. It may only take a single flag to win this game.
Frosty manages to get that kill as well. Jumping over to Lethal's POV now as we tune into Sentinels and seeing what they're doing. Again, just a shout out to both Lucid and Lethal for allowing us to rebroadcast their streams here to bring you the action that you're certainly looking forward to, I'm sure, in our grand finals. Overshield's going to be popping pretty soon as well. Royal 2 pushed up ahead of Lethal inside of that tree. Trippy going to be trying to push out, but Lethal just... The bouncer at the door at the moment will not let him into the club with those kind of shoes on.
Frosty's got the overshield, and I tell you what, when the bouncer sees, doesn't really care what kind of shoes you have on. If you walk into a club with an overshield, that bouncer is letting you right in, and he is not going to stop you or give you any problems at all as they start to make their push here into the Optic base. And what we're seeing on Lethal's screen is just an indication of how much of a pain in the butt it can be to get into a base on Bazaar. It can be so difficult, but here comes the Sentinels run.
I'm just gonna run this quick.
Like getting moved. Where are the kills though? Where are the respawns? There's one player trying to sneak through, and that's going to be Pistola. That big kills from Lethal, big shots from Lethal, which is going to give them an advantage numerically. Now, can they convert into more kills? Trippy trying to overextend as well. A great grenade from Trippy, but that's going to be all the players falling. Lethal is going to move in for a little early Christmas present. It's shaped like a flag. It's not wrapped up, and let me tell you, there's no surprises. It's going to be Sentinels who put the first flag on the board. Oh, and I tell you what, we could be going to Game 5 with only 3 minutes or so left.
Yeah, that Christmas present looked a little bit like the Nimbus 2000. I think everybody knew exactly what that present was when they saw the shape of that flag, and it comes home. It's a double kill as well on Ola. Might not be done just yet. Almost gets the triple kill as well from Lethal, and it's late game aggression from Sentinels once again. A perfect cap, perfect plays in the back of the base, also from Lethal to bring that flag in as well. And now with just a little bit of time on the clock, we have that one flag that we said really could be the game winner.
Frosty being aggressive as well, just being a nuisance here for Optic Gaming.
Wait for me and PD.
Optic just going to be forced to make the plays. The Sentinel's just holding as you hear the call coming in from Snakebite. Lethal's going to poke back out from a hole that he called home for just a few seconds. Drops down that player. Frosty will clean that up. So Royal 2 and Frosty both combining to put pressure on at the moment. Optic Gaming can't get past that 50-yard line.
And here we go as we take a look. It's going to be Lethal off the break. Ola does have that double kill, so just going to tell you a little bit that they need to be careful in the feed. Very good shots against Trippy, though. Ola's quick to fly out once again. He'll pick up another kill, but you heard in the comms just now with Sentinels, you heard Snakebite saying, we hold here, we hold here. All they need to do for this minute 43 is just hold their position on the map and close out the game 1-0.
1 minute 37.
I'm watching your belt.
And that sand is going to tick through the timer. And it will feel a lot quicker for Optic Gaming than it will for Sentinels. One trade makes it a 3v3, but look at where all of the Optic Gaming players are located right now. They're stuck inside of the tree, and Royal 2 is playing Guardian.
Their side, I can't see.
And this is looking like the time is starting to run down here. Royal 2 picking up a kill, Frosty as well. There's going to be maybe one push left here for Sentinels, and maybe one push left here for Optic Gaming to try and get across the map, OE, and just get that flag moving.
And I mean, Lethal is shooting and playing so well right now. He eventually goes and finishes that kill as well. We'll go back onto Lucid, and for good reason. The pressure is on there. They got 55 seconds left, and they need to start a flag run right now if they want to close out this series in this game.
I got him.
Lethal gets taken down by Lucid. 45 seconds left.
Literally just gonna be sitting right above us.
Comms coming in, you could hear just in the background there from Lucid.
Oh,
the
no.
OE is not going to be good enough, and oh no, the one thing you don't want to happen is a teammate taking out a teammate. Friendly fire not welcomed in Halo Infinite. 30 seconds left for Optic to do something crazy.
I think he stuck him with a spiker. You heard Trippy just before Lucid's death, sticking him with a spiker, and Lucid knew that there was a player there on that top rockets, and that's such a tragedy. We'll have to see kills still being exchanged. Just 17 seconds left here.
Dynamo is being picked up by Lucid, trying to deal with Royal 2. 10 seconds left, and I think you're hearing it just in the background there. It's game, and we are going to a game 5. I told you it was a spoiler, not a prediction. 2-2.
There we go. Of course, we're going to a game number 5. We wouldn't have it any other way here at the Halo Championship Series. As we said, this is our final tournament before Raleigh, and we wanted to make it a good one with some very, very late night Halo.
Going all the way to game 5 on set, Brav. I'm throwing this one over back to you.
Well, here we go. I'll tell you what is going to be epic is when we get the bracket reset in around 10 minutes or so's time. That's going to be something that's certainly going to wake us up even more than we are right now. But finally, we are getting into this game 5 of our grand finals. If you're just joining us, you're joining us at the perfect time. Good morning to you. If you've just woken up, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. It is 1-1 in the opening battle between these two teams. Optic Gaming taking on Sentinels. And again, shout out to Lethal and Lucid for both giving us the streams.
Has there ever been more anticipation, more build-up for a Game 5 Slayer? I think as far as the Halo history books go, this is the longest wait between a Game 4 and a Game 5, and we have never been more excited to see a Game 5 Slayer on our screens here. A little bit of an early lead here for that side, and Sentinels will have to see how this one's going to play out as a few more kills do come in for the side of Optic.
Great work there from Trippy to pick up the kill, though, as we are watching Lethal just in the death screen at the moment, watching his teammates, and it's going to be careful here, Sentinels, because they could get collapsed on pretty quickly, and with the way that Optic Gaming have started this, you can see they're just trying to apply that pressure. Trades being exchanged, but when you're down kills at the start of things and you're down at 8-5, trades is not really one of the things that you want to have start to take effect. You want to try and establish a little bit more map control.
Right, it's a nice flank from Lethal, able to get around, also pick up 2. That's a double kill, almost turns 3. In the end, it will be cleaned up, though. They're going to be very happy with those results. And just to set the table again, just because it's been a little while since we were in our last Game 4, the winner of this, not only, of course, this grand finals here will really determine, of course, the favorites, but also it's really going to be a matter of who goes into Raleigh with the most momentum. So much on the line here. As a reminder, Optic Gaming can win this series right here in this game. If Sentinels wins, believe it or not, we will go to another best of 5.
L1 one shot. He went their side.
Sliding down to try and take down Lucid is one player from Sentinels. Did the damage that was required, but again, it's just trades. The camo is going to be up top middle in around 5 seconds time, and you can see that Lucid is trying to drive his attention and his teammates' attention towards that as well. We said how that can be a swing in this game, and if one of the teams can get hold of it, and it's looking like it might be Sentinels who have the quickest of routes to that camo, then they can start to establish a lead here.
14-12 here in favor of Sentinels. They'll now make that 15-13. So many back and forth kills. Lucid not able to convert just there, but keeps it now within 1. And back and forth, no one able to establish a big lead just yet. A little bit of a sidekick spam there. Looks like they have found the camo, and they will sneak it out.
Ooh, wow.
Nice eagle eye of the camo there.
Lethal picks up 2. Trippy will trade. 16-18. It will be Sentinels with a lead for now. Let's jump into a listening. Let's turn those comms up a little bit on the volume, and let's see how the plan is going to be formulated here for Optic to turn this one over.
Yo, he's already up here. He's our closet. Nice job.
No one's on L2.
One shot. I got him. One shot at
L2.
Yep.
L2.
Brad, I got your help.
Take one to blue. Alright, nice.
You guys,
They're pushing our Jin and they're pushing up top lightning. 2 there.
I'm getting out. I got out.
See the cross map, I backed him down. Feathering me.
Yeah, top yellow.
Just to go, yo, low.
I got heat wave, guys. I'm getting shot.
Yo, jump up. Yo, blue, lightning jump.
We gotta live up. I'm getting pushed, guys. I'm getting pushed.
I'm not pushing that.
I can't help you, Tommy.
One.
Blue gen weak.
I won.
He's weak in there. 2 at blue gen, stay alive.
Blue gen, we can still live, guys.
There's a guy blue P2. Yeah, slowly does
Going
that.
towards pink, I'm not angry.
There's a guy blue P2. He has a heat wave, guys. He has a heat wave.
I'm not pushing back.
L3, Joey.
I got pink 2 actually.
Yo, 2 L1 weak to their gen. Blue gen. 2 1 shots blue gen.
2 1-shots, 2 in there.
Our side pink 2 pushing you, Justin, pushing you. I heard that. I'm watching. We hear Frosty weak. I'm going back up.
Inbound.
Camo.
He's P1. Wait.
Yeah, I think they're here.
Oh, he's bottom mid. Top mid, guys. One is up B.
Another one. They got camo.
Top card, guys. Top card. Walk up a little bit.
Yeah, yo, 3 on me. They have camo there.
Well, I'll tell you what,
There's 3 bottom cards.
Sentinels, Andy. We heard the listening from the Optic side, but Sentinels are the team with a 6-kill lead. They are the first team to hit that 30-point kill mark, which is so vital with these Slayer games.
And my God, do they look like a team that doesn't want to quit? They're not ready to go to bed or go home just yet. Great shots there. It takes 2 of them to take down Lethal. Like you said, 31 kills on the board, but Optic starts to bring it back. They've got 27.
Live closet.
7 to 32. Good kills, like you say, coming in from Sentinels. Lucid picks up 1 in the feed to take down Frosty. Royal 2 in front of his teammate, and Royal 2 will win that, but it will be traded out by Trippy. So they got to be careful here with their deaths. Sentinels. And the same could be said to Optic Gaming as well. Sentinels do have a little bit of control as far as the score is concerned, but a couple of deaths to start to escape you, a couple of bits of overzealous pushing for a kill, and all of a sudden you'll get collapsed on by Optic. They will make you pay.
That's right. Let's not forget about the fatigue, of course, on these players, right? The decision making might be slipping after here about, you know, such a long day, long 2 days of competitive Halo, so they need to be on top of their game, but still at this point, it is a 7-kill lead, 37 to 30 at this stage.
39 to 30. Sentinels starting to roll, starting to motor, and starting to decimate what's in front of them here. Optic Gaming are looking a little bit lost. They're looking to remind them that it's not nice to lose a Slayer in the way the Sentinels did, and they're making Optic Gaming think about how that made them feel a few moments ago. The push in now coming from Lethal. He can't pick up 1, but 6 kills to go here for Sentinels, and we are going to have a bracket reset, and the story will continue.
Not over yet. I have to say it is looking like that on set. 33 to 44, and we would need to see very, very good, borderline perfect Halo from Optic Gaming if they want to close this one out. 45-34. Feels like with every kill, it's just going to be Sentinels looking to trade this out and close out the game.
46, 4 to go. And barring a miracle,
I'm getting engine.
this is going to be,
my God,
the elimination bracket run keeping going for Sentinels. They pick up yet another kill. 3 kills to go if they throw this one away. Dan said he'd shave his head once. I'll grow hair back if they throw this one away. Trippy manages to pick up 1 though, just to make it a little bit tighter. 10 kills the difference between the 2 teams, but as I say, this would have to be the throw of all throws coming in from Sen.
Optic Gaming let this get a little bit out of hand, and Sentinels really on top of their game, performing so well now, only needing 3 more, as you say, taking a look into utility. Lethal just trying to peek shoot his way through, but just like that, it's 47-40, not over yet.
Not over yet. One player going to be very weak, though, from Optic Gaming at the top of the plants. Lethal, Snakebite working together. Lucid putting some shots in from distance, and Lethal going to get absolutely beamed as Trippy picks up another one. 48 kills though now as Frosty picks up 1. APG is going to be pushing in. This is a big moment here in this game, and all of a sudden this is a lot closer than we thought. 48 to 43.
Oh my God, there's no way Optic comes back from this, is there? Let's go ahead and see. Just like that, it's a 5-kill game. Sentinels still only needing 2 here. Great team shot now, just 1 more.
Royal 2 picks up that kill. The help from Lethal was so vital. 1 kill to go here until we have a bracket reset with Sentinels doing what they do best. We're going again, everybody. Get yourselves in the kitchen. Make another coffee. Make 2 off the...
Because the reset is starting right now. We go again on our grand finals. Gaskin, Bravo. Let's get it.
Here we go. We're going right into game. We don't even have time to look at what the bracket reset game types are. We'll get you those in a moment. We'll also give you those verbally as we get into game number 1. And we'll also get the card going as well. But in the interest of time, we are going straight into game. We are wasting no time because we know so many of you have been with us all evening, all morning, all day, as it becomes multiple days now. But I have to say, Gaskin, it's great to have you with us here for this bracket reset. And this is honestly one of the best days of competitive Halo we've had in a very long time. Even though it's been long hours, I'm having a blast.
It's great to be here, and I'm just looking across the statistics from Optic's run throughout the last few tournaments. It's another game type where they do have a 100% win record. They've played it 4 times, they've won it 4 times, but as we just saw on Slayer Aquarius, that doesn't mean everything. There is still a chance that Sentinels could overturn this one, and in the early stages, it is going towards Sentinels. 23 points already racked up. They've got control of A and B. This is the setup you want here on Recharge Strongholds. You're going to hold these 2, then you trap the other team towards C, and you force them to consistently push into vulnerable areas, and you take angles, you take them down.
Look at the shots there from Lethal on APG, some great shots. But whether you're in Twitch chat and YouTube chat, or maybe just more of a Twitter person, do you want you to go ahead and say, I was there. We'll all remember this. We have all gone through this together. This is one of the most fantastic fantastic, longest but best nights of competitive Halo I've ever been a part of. This has been fantastic. And Gaskin, as we look at stats, I gotta say Halo Infinite is once again setting a pretty ridiculous record, because right now 2/3 of every finals have gone to a game 5 and then a bracket reset. So once again, setting some pretty big standards, some big shoes to fill this game is.
Just teams keep pushing each other to that next level, don't they? As soon as Optic thought they were the cream of the crop, they were above everyone else by head and shoulders. Sentinels waltz back in and say, hey, did you forget about us? You better not have, because we're going to reset this one. We're going to take it to another best of 5. But look at this, total control for Optic Gaming. They've been able to secure all 3. Sentinels need to stop this bleeding soon, and they're trying to do so in B, one of the most difficult strongholds to take off of your opponent. But at least they've been able to achieve that. Now they can transition over towards A, and they will have that ideal setup once more.
It's another nice play from Lethal. Ola comes in with the repulsor, which sends Lethal all the way back to the back of elevator, but Lethal's going to win the battle in the end anyway. What was a really great stretch there from Sentinels has been answered back, like you said, by the trip cap. So these teams still pretty darn close, only 25 points or so separating them two here in game number 1 of our bracket reset. And it's been a fantastic night, like you said. We'll have to see who's able to take this game number 1, and we have to think fatigue setting in for these players. But with the gameplay we're seeing here, Gaskin, so far, everyone's looking still pretty sharp, and Sentinels really riding the momentum off that last game.
Certainly, Sentinels seem to look sharper than Optic. I don't know whether we're seeing Optic play at the same level as what we witnessed a little bit earlier on. I say a little bit earlier on today, quite a long time ago today, when they were originally in that winners bracket finals. But at the same time, that can't be an excuse for Optic. You know full well that they would not have just turned over and showed their belly and allowed Sentinels to get back into this series. This is about grit and determination. Sentinels have demonstrated something a little bit different here in this grand final, and now in the reset they have quite a significant lead in game number 1 here, but we'll see how quickly that could be overturned if we see yet another trip cap coming through.
Yeah, momentary trip cap as C is being converted right behind you, as you see. So it'd still be 107 to 54. We also just got an update here from Onset, who, as you saw, just casted that first series. Believe he just ordered a smash burger and loaded pulled pork fries for breakfast at around 8:37 in the morning, which is pretty incredible. So congrats to Onset. I'm actually pretty jealous, and we don't have eateries like that open at 1 a.m. here on the West Coast. So now I'm actually really jealous. So I just want to give a shout out wherever you are in the world. Order your snacks, because we got a whole nother series going. Get your DoorDash or Uber Eats orders in, because we could be going to another best of 5.
To be fair, I'm wondering where in England he's managed to get an order like that at 8:37 in the morning. I'm a little bit jealous. Maybe it was just an order to his mum and she's going to bring it round, because I'm not sure there's many fast food restaurants that would be able to achieve that. But we are seeing A and B now in possession for Optic Gaming. They're slowly trickling their way up the scoreboard and catching Sentinels up. And it was a significant lead. It was up by 50, 60 points. But, you know, Optic have closed this gap. They're not allowing Sentinels to run away with it, and it shows just how closely contested these two teams are, Bravo.
And there you go. See Lethal shooting those nades, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm expecting to see a little bit more teams denying grenades more and more as we get closer to Raleigh. It's just too risky to leave those grenades up for remote detonation, but we'll take a look back into the gameplay now. As you said, these two teams neck and neck here in game number 1. You wouldn't expect it any other way with the series that we just saw, and a few more hit ticks come in from Lethal. Instead, he's going to have to reset with a team at A and set his sights on control.
Total control once more, but Sentinels at least able to rescue A. That's job 1. Notice how Sentinels are not forcing themselves to try and take C first and putting themselves in a position where they could be consistently kept on some sort of spawn cycle, some sort of spawn trap. Instead, they prioritize A or B, because that is the setups that they're going to be trying to go for every single time. But right now, there is a lot of time ticking up for Optic Gaming. They've gained the lead here, and you know, every single camo is going to make a difference here. Notice in 15 seconds, both teams are going to try and prioritize that, try and get it into their chests, because it could make or break the setup.
My God, I was about to say, how often do you see Lucid up top with the shock rifle, but he just doubles back out of yellow with a perfect shot there on Lethal. A great play. And as we take a look at the scoreboard, it's still Optic Gaming in control here, right around 158 to 111. We do see A converted though, so Sentinels will have to work together to push back out once again, perhaps a pipes push or a control push towards B or C.
Do you know what's crazy, Bravo? I mean, aside from it being a bracket reset, I remember sitting in Sentinel's stream yesterday and them saying, you know what, we're just happy to get into pool play. All we want is top 8, whether it be via points, whether it be qualifying, it doesn't really matter. And now they're competing to potentially be the #1 seed going into Rally. And that shows that even though they didn't have the mentality of we'd like to go in as #1 seed. They played well enough. They have that opportunity here and now, and they've had to take the long road. They got eliminated down to the lower bracket so early on, but it's been quite the run in the lower bracket. Consecutive back-to-back games, several of them being best-of-5 series as well, and the fact they're still putting on a show like this is extremely impressive.
It really is here as we take a look at the score. Now 173 to 135 in favor of Optic Gaming. It's a big win there from Lucid at Turbine as he went pipes, and Lethal just happened to miss just a shot there as he grappled in and was trying to get towards back A because the callouts were coming about how many opponents were weak, trapped in control. So neither team wanting to drop this game, and of course, as we said, nice little nade there from Lethal on APG. As we said, these teams knowing that really you have to give it all in these games, and this is what a test, what a precursor for Raleigh, right, in terms of an endurance test on set between these two sides of who's going to be ready to play out these long days at the Raleigh LAN.
Best part is you just called me on set, so talk about endurance, talk about the point of where we're at with this, that you still think I could be Mark. But yeah, I mean, this is the perfect just kind of tester before we get to Raleigh, because LANs do take it out of you. It is a very fatiguing procedure, playing all those games in a row. Sometimes we've seen teams really struggle when you get to the latter stages of tournaments because of the back-to-back games, but this certainly is one way to get your reps in. But as we've been talking, I've been discussing, and you've been calling me Mark, and I've said disgusting rather than discussing, it's still the fact that Optic Gaming are racking up points. They're getting closer and closer to taking map 1 here.
I do apologize, Dan. You're very, very kind. As we take a look here, what Lethal can do to try to answer back. 225 to 135, and ready to close this out is Optic Gaming, looking very strong. So would that B hold, and we're seeing players from Sentinels know they need to fly into B right now, keeping an eye on that score as they will now only be 15 points or so away from closing out this game. Not very long for them, and Sentinels all the way down to 139, and going to be a long road back, and Optic Gaming thinking you're just going to need maybe 1 or 2 slays, Gaskin, to close this out.
They do only need 1 or 2 slays, but something that we see quite a lot here in Strongholds and Halo Infinite is when a team is really close to winning the game, they start to desperate those Strongholds a little bit because they know they only need those extra 10, 20 seconds. And because of that, it really gives the opportunity to the other team to set up accordingly and really punish that team who's constantly flying into Strongholds, just like this. Trippy diving into B, a double kill for Lethal, and all the meanwhile, we're seeing time tick up for Sentinels. It's a triple kill for Lethal. He's starting to really give Sentinels a chance to get back into this one.
Triple kill for Lethal, trying to stay alive. The yellow angles is the angle, excuse me, that he was not ready for as he starts to get pinned in the back and has to worry about now back to B. But head on a swivel, manages to do damage into Lucid and Ola at yellow. That's going to be big, but are there teammates around to stop? It's going to be Snakebite that comes in and gets the kill and also gets the reset on B. This one's not over yet.
Gets the reset, the temporary trip cap, so there are several points starting to be added now, and Lethal just doesn't seem to be missing. He's been patrolling the map, checking out every single angle, reacting to callouts perfectly, and it's allowing Sentinels, but slowly and surely crawling their way back into this game. You said Optic just need that 1 set of slays. They've not been able to achieve those set of slays yet. Sentinels have had an answer every single time.
And you have to wonder if they've played it differently. Were they just trying to get, as you said, a few desperate conversions? And that's what they were going for. And that's actually what has let Sentinels get right back in this game. And once again, it's an unbelievable finish. The Mangler, though, from Lucid beats out the Needler of Lethal in the back of the base. It's a kill from Trippy on the other side as well. As we take a look at the score, still now going to be a trip cap just like that in favor of Optic Gaming. This could be it.
Well, at least Sentinels do stop the bleeding ever so slightly, sitting in C, so it's not going to be 2 points racking up. They have at least, 5 seconds to get to either A or B here. It looks like B is going to be where they dive into. Have to stay alive, have to try and reset this one. This is going all the way down to the wire between these two teams.
They're going to keep him trapped at A here. They're going to play for this BC hold, and right now with the angles that they have, they might be able to do it. It's a team shot out of Catwalk for Optic Gaming right away. They know they need to break out because just like that, Sentinels is crossing the 240-point mark as well. This is just like that, a 240 to 247 game down to the wire.
2 kills there for Sentinels. They're trying to move over to C, our Optic Gaming, but their time is slowly but surely ticking up. 247, 247, 1 member in C. Can they get the reset? Yes, they can. Sentinels are going to do it. They make the comeback. They were so far behind, Bravo, but somehow they keep this dream runner going.
Oh my God, 250 to 247, and you don't think against a team like Optic they let it get in their head. I think they're all mentally strong enough players that would surprise me if that was the case. You also have Lunchbox in the back, such a veteran. I think they're gonna not let that really be something they dwell on, but it's gonna be live fire Slayer, and we're gonna jump in right now. Gaskin on board once again with Lethal. If you're just joining us, once again, we've said that about 40 times here throughout the grand finals. But there really have been that many entry points into these grand finals because it has been a fantastic night of competitive Halo that has gone into the early morning hours in every time zone in the world right now. Sentinels leads Optic Gaming in our truly final best of 5.
Yeah, just a big thanks to both Lethal and Lucid for letting us watch their streams from their POV, just because there were some observed issues a little bit earlier with networks and connecting to the lobbies of these players. But Lethal is already starting things off as he finished with a big double and just great assisting in general. This Sentinel squad really do have fantastic chemistry. And, you know, the Sentinel squad, they keep upsetting the statistics. Bravo, I was saying previously in that first game, Optic had never lost that game type in tournament play. Sentinels take them down. Well, this is a slightly tougher ask. On live fire, Optic Gaming have a 19-0 record across all game types. They've never lost on this map. Specifically Slayer, they have a 9-0 record. So if Sentinels do overturn this one, that really is going against the statistics.
That really is a tall order, as you say, and it's a double kill for Lethal in the back. And moments like that, plays like that, might be what it takes for them to meet that tall order, that tall ass, like you said. And it looks like Ola going to be taking down bottom middle. Frosty will be the one picking up the double kill in the feed. Also an AR in the back pocket of Lethal, as he will hold top tower and continue to engage players pushing over from Nest. And just like that, 10-6, that AR is going to come in handy in the back, but Trippy's going to force the trade.
And you can hear the comms behind as well, obviously from the streams of the players. And they don't sound like players who are tired and aren't giving their all. They are very much frantic communication. These players want this. They want to go in as #1 seed to rally and just assert dominance. I think Sentinels came into this tournament, Bravo, with a point to prove. We saw what happened on social media the night before last, where there was a couple of questionable remarks thrown between players. And Sentinels, they've been on the receiving end of a lot of stick. And it would really answer the critics if they were to come back and win this entire tournament. I mean, they already have answered the critics, but even more so if they won. But first of all, they've got to get through Optic Gaming once more. 17-12 in favor of Optic. They've got a 5-kill lead.
Yeah, right now, as you see, even more points going on the board in favor of Optic, and it's a very strong start from them on live fire. Slayer looking to answer back here, 20-12 now, but Lethal and co want to make sure that that is not the end of the story, not the only narrative we tell in this game. Some good shots coming out of both Lethal and APG. It's actually going to be a re-challenge from Lethal, but Lucid helps at top A around the sandbag, so it will now be a score of 23-14.
Just look at how Sentinels are trying to shut down the movement of Optic, but every single time they take down one, there's another player. The green wall in full effect at this point. This is why they're so successful on live fire, because they move as a unit, but it's not always through the most normal routes. They take really abnormal areas. They like to push through bottom middle. They like to sometimes transition down through open field as well, just to make sure that they keep you on your toes. They are very unpredictable on this map, and it's terrifying to play against.
24-18, a few kills additionally coming in for the side of Sentinels there. You saw a few kills from Frosty as well as Lethal winning that battle from C-Plat into Closet. A nice battle against Ola as he's going to now make his way across A sandbags, down by 5 kills, but certainly still in this match. He'll find 2 players of Optic here at back house and need to be very careful with how he plays this. Nice bait and switch from the side of Optic.
He was so close to getting that kill as well, and you can see the urgency from Sentinels trying to dash into Garage when they had the player advantage, but just not able to capitalize on it. And those are the fine margins. Sometimes it's just a slither of a wall, a little bit of head not being able to connect to that BR, and that can be the difference. Not just 1 kill, but several kills.
See the escapability of Lucid? You're seeing it there from a separate POV. Now, Royal 2 will clean it up in the end, so they will get the kills on the board, but that's just an example from another POV of what that drop sliding and using those advanced movement techniques allows you to do to get out of really, really hairy situations. But speaking of, 26-31, still just like that, a 5-kill game.
Yeah, Sentinel's still keeping on top of camouflage, but unfortunately for Lethal, someone had that camo goggles on. Pistola, the wizard himself, of course, coming from behind and having the heat wave in hand. The heat wave hasn't been seen too much in POV. It's not really been in Lethal's hands, but it has been very prominent on this map, and you you can understand why. The damage it can do both at close range and mid-range, sometimes even long range with the clips I've seen on social media. But somehow, even though without all of that presence, Sentinels are just clawing this one back. They're only a few kills behind.
Lethal with some great peek shots on APG. He also moves over to B. Wow. Now we'll probably get this kill with some help. He also now has Repulsor. Heatwave has a really nice win in B. You might have noticed how the second he meleeed, he hit the Repulsor to ensure that that player could not exchange a melee. Then he also gets some help in house. So it's a very good swing for Lethal, as now they keep this game somehow within one. It's 33-32.
Just when you think Optic were going to start to roll away with this one, Sentinels, they answer back, whether it be just their ability to push as a unit and make sure they're holding hands as a 2 or a 3, or whether it's the fact now they've been able to take that Heatwave away from Optic Gaming. But a lot of responsibility on the shoulders of Lethal here. Has to hit these shots, but APG giving him the wiggles and hitting the BR shots.
Certainly hitting those wiggles real nice around back pillars and actually using that pillars route to be ready for that drop to bottom middle. So here we are tied up at the 33 mark, I think, or is that an 8? I can't tell. Between the yellow and the time of night, it's hard to tell. But right now, these two teams certainly still very, very close. Only a 4-kill game in that case. At the back of live fire, Lucid staying alive as long as he can, but just like that, now moving into the 40-36 range.
I think what's impressive is how Sentinels are staying within a kind of 4 to 5 kill gap, which can very easily be overturned by the likes of a Camo or a Heatwave or just someone with a Mangler that gets behind enemy lines. As long as they can stay this close, there is always a possibility of a comeback. And what we've just seen from game 1, it was a huge comeback, so they know it's possible. Lethal getting a sniper, will dive out, does have the assistance, but doesn't get the no-scopes.
Frosty's going to go down as well there, so that will be several kills going in favor of Optic Gaming, creating a difficult situation here off of the open field power-up push coming in for Sentinels. They're going to need to have eyes on tower, but also a player at A Sandbags is going to force them to get a little bit more control here. Lethal just trying to stay alive with his teammates around scoreboard.
Yeah, 6 kills in it now, make it 5, and certainly Sentinels have not been scared to get aggressive at those right moments. They recognize that they can't just play cowardly, they can't be passive, they've got to try and match the aggression of Optic Gaming, otherwise they'll just be swarmed, they'll be suffocated, and they're still in this one. Only 4 kills between the two teams, make that just 2 kills now, with some big frags coming out of the Sentinels boys.
You might have heard Frosty's comms saying still winnable, back when Lethal was at scoreboard, and my God, was it ever. They've brought the game within 2, just as you say, 45-43. Lucid is the player alive on Nest, and we'll have to see if he gets back down to B. He's able, look at that, once again, this advanced movement. They're sliding right down into B, away from cover. You're going to hear us talking about that quite a bit here over these next few weeks, because it is such a difference maker, and as more players pick up that advanced movement, it will continue to be a big issue. But just like that, 46-46.
46-46. Somehow, Sentinels keep this dream alive. They have dropped 1, though. Got to be careful. Every death so important, and just like that, 2 slip away. So now, Sentinels need to just play everything correctly, as it's 49-46. Off screen, they lose 1 more. Optic just 1 kill away from taking this map. So if you're Sentinels, you've got to play this absolutely perfectly.
Lethal drops off to make sure that anyone pushing C does not get to push him. Instead, he drops pillars to help out his team at B. And right now, this last team fight is what it's going to come down to here, 49-47.
Doesn't work out for them, and off screen, the final kill will go in favor of Optic Game.
Adrenaline's going to carry these teams through quite a bit, and for good reason, because we're going straight in. This is going to be game number 3 in our second best of 5 between these two teams. It's CTF on Aquarius.
Really important, the opening trades here, to try and gain a little bit of map control, and whether it be actually picking up that camouflage or just getting yourself in a position where you can begin to think about a flag run. Opening strategies in Halo Infinite, very important, and certainly Sentinels off the get-go have been able to pick up some really important kills.
And by the way, you notice we've been on board with Lethal's POV for a while, where we were also showing Lucid earlier on, showing player streams due to the fact that we were having a little bit of networking issues that were holding up some of the games, so we wanted to get into games as fast as possible. But Lucid actually has turned off his stream, so whether for reasons of the fact that it's now a ridiculous hour, where he lives, or the fact that he wanted to focus on playing with the team, we now have Lethal stream. We're very thankful to have it here as our window into this match through these early morning hours, as we see which team can grab some early kills. There's going to be another one going on the board in favor of Snakebite.
And whilst you don't necessarily get to see the entire story when you're only watching one POV, you do get to witness some of the other things you missed on a natural broadcast. You get to see what their decision is on every single time they spawn, how they're going to help those teammates, what they look at, what they talk about when they're dead as well. All these different things that we get to focus on, which is quite nice. Those of you who are regulars in Lethal stream, of course, you're used to seeing all of this, but for us who have to watch from the observer point of view, from all those different POVs, it is nice sometimes sometimes to just get a little brief glance at how the players play it every single way.
And also getting a little bit of comms as well that you're hearing from this team. By the way, Onset's been talking about it, and rightfully so, for these past few tournaments, but that sidekick, how viable that is, the fact that Lethal got a trade on that last kill, I think he only popped out 2, maximum 3 shots and able to get the trade there. So an example of just how good that is. Now Lethal showing off a little bit of slide jumps as well as he gets into the enemy base very fast and able to get back into this and challenge Lucid in the back left of the base. Knows he needs some help. He has some help from utility, so we'll see if he can stay alive, but no, he'll be taken down. So once again, still a battle for control top mid.
The strafes we're witnessing from every player in this lobby as well, they're all so confident with their shot, and they're all starting to get their own kind of trademark strafes as well. You'll notice they're doing it in an entirely different way. It's not just a normal wiggle just from left to right. There is planned strategy, there's method behind the madness, but one flag is being run here by Sentinels. Lethal there to cover. He's probably done enough damage there to allow this flag to get to a position for a possibility of scoring. It is going to be scored, and Sentinels are going to go 1-0 up here.
1-0 up in game number 3, and you have to think on Aquarius CTF, usually one flag, unlike a map like Bazaar, one flag not enough to do it, so they are going to have to keep the foot on the gas as they continue to apply the pressure. A kill does come in for Ola, though, so Lethal going to be careful with how he plays this, trying to just ring around the rosy, maybe outsmart an opponent and try to win this battle. Looks like Trippy will win that, but Snakebite on the way to close it out.
You have no help, PJ, just live.
Certainly the survivability of every player in the lobby has impressed me so far, how they will play their lives, how they'll just sprint around a corner to avoid just those extra shots, and then it's about how quickly they re-engage into another fight, whether they actually want to retake that fight and try and go for the reversal, or just react to a call-out and try and finish off a different player on the map that their teammates having a fight with. Just very quick reaction speeds. We've seen it throughout the entire tournament. We've seen some highlights. Bravo, you even spoke about it, just the reaction of call-out and turning your head on a swivel to try and get that final kill when the one-shot is called. The chemistry and the teamwork that we're seeing from these teams already in Halo Infinite is really amazing.
It really has been. I think we're seeing so much discipline, so much coordination from these teams, and you have to say the big surprise of this event, not due to the names on the stage, but just due to their past 2 weeks' performance, of course, has been Sentinels, and just how much they have stepped up their game to maybe get real close to that world-class performance that we're used to seeing out of this roster week in, week out for the past decade of professional Halo, and now really putting Optic's feet to the fire in this series. They sent us to a second best of 5, and now even leading in our game number 3.
Yeah, just to give you a bigger picture, I mean, Sentinels finished top 12 in the tournament last weekend. It was unheard of. I think everyone was a little bit taken aback, including the Sentinels players. They reacted in a way where they said, we just need to get top 8 so that we can be in pool play when it comes to rally. But they've answered back in a way that they are now in the grand finals, and they've reset these grand finals. And they're currently technically leading these grand finals as they're 1-0 up as we're tied in this series. But they need to make sure they stay on top of things, because if Optic find the same kind of rhythm that we've seen them find over the past few tournaments, that's when they start to get scary. If Lucid starts to find that heat wave consistently and really gets behind you, it can do so much wonders. He can really tear a game apart.
Great play there from Lethal. You saw that he either got the call out or heard the footsteps that there was a player up top. It was APG. Finds him again. APG will get the better of him in that example, as that flag is going to go all the way across and is going to be going in. Optic will be on the board as well. And unsurprisingly, what other way would we have it? We're tied 1-1 here with 6:40 left.
And it's so difficult sometimes to get that flag all the way across Aquarius. I mean, I'm sure that you guys playing at home might be playing Aquarius and Bazaar and seeing that it's a 5 flag and wondering why it's a 5 flag, because at times it feels like it should be 3. But I have seen these games go all the way to the wire, a 5-4, a 4-4. It just really depends on how the teams want to approach it, how they want to play it. But when you've got 2 evenly matched teams like this, who are just slaying each other consistently on both sides of the map, it makes it so tough to actually get into that base and even pull a flag.
Ola right there, and a teammate with a great pre-nade on utility. That will take out Lethal and a teammate as well. They were trying to come in that door, in the side door. Ooh, Heatwave, though, is in the hands. It takes a look like Lucid there. There will be a trade, though, as Snakebite will be the one to clean that up again. Just in case you're just joining us as well, Snakebite playing on that Nerd Slayer tag. So just in case you're seeing a name you don't recognize in the feed, that's who that is. It's Snakebite.
Nice little comm we heard as well from Sentinels, where they really were trying to focus as to where Lucid was with that Heatwave. And they were saying, he's here, he's here. They knew they had to take him out. They couldn't allow him to just be behind enemy lines with the Heatwave. Otherwise, it could have been very detrimental for their chances of getting out, pushing out, and getting another flag. But all the kill feed I'm seeing at the moment is all Optic Gaming. Trippy, Lucid, they're picking up these kills. Sentinels need to answer back and start to match this slaying power.
Yeah, and actually Lethal flies right in right away, wondering where the opponents might have gone, and gets the better of Lucid. It did so well. We talked a lot about Lucid's use of the drop side curb slide, but we got to give credit to Lethal because he's really been showing off quite a few tricks of his own in terms of how fast he's getting to different parts of the map as well, which is no surprise. Expect all players at this point, and certainly by Raleigh, to really be on top of some of the movement techniques in Halo Infinite.
Yeah, they're all starting to up their game a little bit. You can tell extra time has been put in, extra work has been put in behind the scenes so that they can manipulate and maneuver their way around the map as quickly as possible. Not only can you get from point A to point B faster, but if you kind of slide drop into a fight, it's so difficult to actually track that player sometimes because they really do travel across your screen very quickly and you might not be expecting it. But another flag being run here by Sentinels. Is there anyone in position to try and train this home? Lethal's at least going to toss it in, but someone else has to touch this because the rest of Optic, they're all watching. Someone with full shields will come in. Sentinels go 2-1 up.
I like that play from Lethal. You might have thought, why did Lethal go in with no shields there? But he had another player in his own utility and a player back flag. So he went and kind of sacrificed for that flag toss, and it worked out really well for them. And right now, that's going to put them 2-1 up with just 4 minutes left and looking to maintain a little bit of top control off of this rotation as well.
Yeah, have to maintain some top control. You don't allow Optic Gaming to start to pin you back and push you onto spawn and really start to gain confidence with slays. Instead, you need to match them now. Trade 1 for 1. Get the camouflage. Keep in their face. Get behind them and just be a nuisance. I think Frosty picked up the camo, yes, which he did. He should be able to finish off that kill onto Trippy. APG is going to be weak nearby as well. Sentinel should be able to get a couple of players down here and regain the entire map control.
Look at the amount of damage, the amount of anchoring that's coming out of Lethal. They're able to help all the way to the utility, then continues to challenge bottom Dynamo, challenges another player APG up top, and doing so much damage, even backing down Ola here, waiting for some help to come from Frosty. Lethal really putting on a show here, even though that's not amounting to many kills on the board. Such great support work as his team is able to continue. And look, I mean, Ola's still running backwards. Just amazing pressure from Lethal.
Dynamo Grenades will give so much information here. Will also tag up his teammates, so you do have to be a little bit careful. But it's the amount of presence that Lethal is offering here on the map. He's just giving so much information to his team. He's also kind of stopping Optic Gaming from being able to push up in certain areas. He's doing a lot for the team right now.
Wow, this is such a highlight reel from Lethal. Amazing gameplay. We're lucky we get to see it here just because that was some amazing Halo Infinite. I would even say in the grand final, certainly one of the best sequences we've seen from any pro player. They're now up 3-1 here, and they're going to be very happy with that with only 2:36 left on the clock.
Yeah, this is going to get very difficult for Optic Gaming to try and make a comeback, but we daren't even think about not suggesting a comeback could happen after what has happened so many times here today. And there we have Optic throwing that flag, getting it on the move. Sentinels, they've got a few players down here, but it looks like they've been able to stop that one straight away. Very important to do so.
Oh, great comms there, and calling out Ola on the flag, and even able to get the kill himself. Now continuing to challenge, and I'm not kidding. This is amazing streak here from Lethal. I mean, one of the most talented players to ever play the game, but also he's just on fire right now. He's all over the map.
I would love to see the amount of damage that he's put in this game. I know we might not necessarily be able to see that because it's just from his POV, but the damage output must be there, and there's some of that extra movement just to get from point A to B quicker. And now he can get some damage done as well. Catches Trippy out, reacting to callouts once more. 1 minute and 41 left on the clock, and Sentinels are running yet another flag here.
Almost did it again, and Ola able to take him down. Finally, 2 players in utility, but not kidding when I say some of the best sequences of Halo Infinite that we have seen. 4-1 now in favor of Sentinels, much in part due to the damage that Lethal was doing there in the back left, all in his opponent's utility. Certainly a masterclass from Lethal, just staying alive, getting kills that he really shouldn't, might even get some grenade damage here, and with 1:13 left, this looks like it's going to be a Sentinels W.
It looks like it is. I can't really see 3 flags being run across the map in 1 minute, but at the same time, I don't want to rule out anything. That flag is being run once more, though, for Sentinels, so they should be able to just close this one out 5-1 comfortably. But, well, that flag does go back, so now it's just going to have to be pulled. And I think that, Sentinels are going to be delighted with this. They're going to go 2-1 up in this series. They're going to be 1 map away from taking this grand finals, and I wonder what that's going to do to the mentals of Optic Gaming.
Yeah, you have to think, on the one hand, does Optic Gaming start to get down on themselves? And I think the other hand is, what on earth might we see with Optic Gaming stepping it up? We thought we'd already seen the best that Optic Gaming had to offer, and maybe that is the fire that they needed lit underneath them to carry this one out. It will still be 4-2 with 25 seconds left. A little bit of a victory lap here with Sentinel just controlling and slaying up top.
And this has just traditionally been one of Optic's weaker game types, and this is shown even more by Sentinels putting another loss onto what was a very impressive record across the board for Optic. But what was an almost flawless record before this tournament started has slowly been chipped away by several teams, not just Sentinels, and it really does demonstrate how teams in North America are starting to catch up with what looked like an unbeaten hours. It's probably closer to about 12 at this point, but we've all been enjoying all of the Halo action. It could come to an end if Sentinels are able to topple Optic Gaming here on Streets Oddball, but there is still potentially a Game 5 if we see Optic come back into things. This is certainly going to be an enjoyable one.
It's a rocket grab for Optic that you just saw on Lethal's POV for just a second. That'll likely be in the tires area, maybe being rotated B as well. That is an early grab, though, for Optic and Lucid. They will bring that back to a back A, back elbow hold.
Yeah, and this is the most desirable hold that you'll see in Oddball, just being able to position the ball right back behind that tower, but then there needs to be some support there, and it doesn't look like there is that support right now. Trippy trying to be a little bit sneaky, and I said it didn't look like the support was there, but maybe because Optic Gaming got their best camouflage impressions on, they were hiding behind any object, and they went for the ambush, and the ambush was somewhat successful because they're still racking up some ball time.
Yeah, Optic Gaming playing a little bit of prop hunt there, just hiding and trying to look as much like a electric transformer as he could was Trippy against that ball. And he's actually still in the same exact spot, and he's going to win that battle in tires once again, coming back with a vengeance. That's going to continue to extend the Optic lead here, 27-0.
And this could be a lead that continues to grow if we don't see Sentinels manage to stop the ball, but they have done. Royal 2's now got his hands on it, and he's trying to rotate it a little bit closer towards the rest of the team, just tosses it out into a position where maybe they could do something with it. But look at Optic quickly recognizing that they can pick up some scrappy time here. They can really make Sentinels work to try and break this setup, and that time is slowly getting away from Sentinels. They need to get closer to this ball. They need to stop this time, otherwise they could be looking at going around down.
Where the ball is right now is actually the area I was talking about, where you can actually play it. Behind those wooden planks and pallets, you can actually go ahead and play that ball right there. We'll have to see if either team thinks about that, because it's a little bit of a less traditional spot here, Gaskin. You don't always see the PD holds come into play at this high level of play.
That's because you're so vulnerable when you are holding it in PD. Grenades can be banked off the 3 different entrances, and you can just be completely wiped out of the game. But 3 kills going in favor of Optic make that all 4 dead. Rockets have just come up as well, so not only have they got the ball, they've got the setup, they've got all the goodies, and Sentinels off spawn have got a lot to do.
They do. They're lucky to get these B spawns, which is much further than, say, a back tram spawn. You can see a little bit of a smile there on Lethal's face, and not one that was an evil one, but just knew that he naded his teammate there, Snakebite, who was also dropping in on tire. So just unfortunate series of grenades and kills that are going in here, because it's going to amount to even more time on the board. It's a nice kill, though, between Frosty and Royal 2 and Lethal to work in back PD to clear out this part of the map.
Yeah, that's the perfect kind of setup push and setup break there from Sentinels, and just it does show that was a little bit of a sloppy hold from Optic Gaming. They weren't in the desired position. Sometimes you have to just have that poor man setup and rock with whatever's presented to you, but it does leave you a little bit vulnerable to those pushes, and now Sentinels can try and just put a little bit more ball time here, but here comes Lucid with the microwave, really being a nuisance.
We've seen him use that Sentinel beam time and time again, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on that weapon, but Lucid making sure to grab it every time. We've seen him do a lot of damage with it. Kills will be exchanged on both sides, so just like that, they'll continue to fight over this PD and B area.
Yeah, it is a scrappy game, this one, and I guess I'm not really surprised with 2 teams who are so closely contested when it comes to slays, when it comes to their ability on every single game type. I know I've spoke a lot about statistics, but it would seem that both teams now know how to play every game there or thereabouts, as you'd expect, but it's only a couple of weeks into the life cycle of Halo Infinite, but already some very impressive statistics coming out from both of these teams. A little bit more ball time still to be gathered here by Lethal, but recognizing that he may have to drop and slay at any moment with those rockets coming up in 10 seconds.
Yeah, just angling himself away. Thought about dropping the ball and trying to maybe tuck it around the corner. Doesn't get it, still has to try to drop and shoot instead. Thinking about going back for it, though. You can tell he's thinking about at least trying to rotate this ball. He will finally grab it, but continue to help in the back of the base. Earlier, moments ago, you saw just how well he avoided the grenades and made sure to avoid those. That's led to a huge swing here. He's essentially brought the game back, just about tied here in game number 4.
What we were saying earlier about unorthodox setups and just holding those ball in those different areas, and the PD setup is not a great one, but certainly Sentinels have found a way to make it work. They've got back into this game and pretty much tie it up with 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, and they keep spawning Cafe. I think that's the good thing here for Sentinels, is they can consistently keep pushing here towards PD, take that fight, get a little bit of scrappy ball time, but if Optic do manage to get all 4 dead and force Sentinels all the way back to station spawns, that's when things could start to get a little bit dicey.
You bring up a great point, Gaskin. Through all these PD holds, notice that we have not seen Lethal spawn in the back of Tram in several minutes. It's been all B spawns as well as Cafe Neon spawns, which they're going to be pretty happy with. It has let them stay very close to the action. Now that ball will finally rotate all the way to Neons and get out of PD for the first time in several minutes. But once again on the scoreboard, we are still essentially tied here, 68-60.
I swear just Lethal does not miss, but this is another one of those setups we were talking about that happened earlier from Sentinels, holding it towards Cafe, holding it towards Neons. It's not necessarily the most optimal setup at times, but Sentinels really find a way to make it work. Optic are having to try so hard to traverse the map right now, but every corner they're greeted by a battle rifle, by a grenade. There's something to stop them in their wake.
Look how much of a pain Lethal is being, just making sure to do as much damage as possible and then taking as much damage as possible, but still staying alive. Finally, Lucid has to bust out the 2,000-watt microwave and take him down at the bottom of A. That was quite a streak once again from the side of Lethal, and like that, they will be scoring earlier, 88 now to 70, and only 12 points away for Sentinels. They'll need maybe just one good push to close this out, but they need to make it soon.
Don't know if he just naded Frosty there or whether it was something else, but certainly there was an apology as rockets are about to pop. So if Optic or Sentinels grab these, you've got to have a feeling that it could be the difference maker with only, what, 10, 20 seconds needed between the two teams. But at the moment, Lethal is really just focusing on holding this Cafe area, has to stay alive, just trying to get some support right now whilst dealing a little bit of damage.
Ooh, it was a great slide there on Ola. He happens to just miss the banister and able not to get into A, but it doesn't matter. He's able to still get that kill. But the rockets come in just as you say. It's a trippy grab.
Trippy does get the rockets, does get the kill, but Sentinels are still there to pick up the ball time, to get that scrappy time that they've so desperately been searching for. And with only 5 points remaining, you've got to feel that Optic, without some miraculous grenades, this is going to be round 1 going in favor of Sentinels. Remember, if you've not seen Oddball on Halo Infinite yet, it is now round-based. It's first to 2, so Sentinels are now 1 round away from winning this grand final.
A very convincing round from them, able to play that all the way through. Optic with a lot of points on the board, but it really came down to that long hold from Sentinels. And I think, Gaskin, you called this perfectly. Sentinels, certainly the team that has stood out within these top teams. It feels weird to call them within the top 12 because that's normally never how we'd refer to Sentinels. But of course, that was their placing last week. But importantly, they're really comfortable with these less traditional holds, and they win another round with a hold that's a little bit less common.
And I think that says a lot about their chemistry, about their ability to react to maybe a situation they get put in that other teams would just crumble. But because they're so quick to react to those calls, to jump on a one-shot or to push as a 2, collapse on a team that is spawning in front of them, that's what's always made Sentinels so impressive as a team, whether it be through Halo 5 or the early stages of Halo Infinite. But this is going to be an entirely different game. Now we see the ball over towards Tram. We had a heavy game over towards Tower and PD, but you will see how different things are going to be with the ball in this area.
That's right. It's interesting that we get to see a completely different version of this game type, if you will, in the back Tram area, as Gaskin alluded to. It's a completely different game the way it plays out, and you'll see the choke points becoming so much more of a factor on this side, whereas it's a little bit more open and a little bit more sprawled out on the other side of the map that you got to see in that first run. But folks, this really is the test for Optic Gaming. Do they have what it takes to rally back in this series and three-peat, or is it going to be all Sentinels all the way? Here's the rotation from Lethal.
Yeah, look at the thought process here from Sentinels, not just accepting a default hold-in station. Instead, they've all moved as a unit towards the B area, and they're moving as a wolf pack. This makes it so difficult for Optic, who off-spawn were probably spawning at Cafe, moved down towards Neons, and Sentinels just gradually moved away from them so that they could get a little bit more time without sacrificing the possibility of Optic getting those slays and then getting ball time in an area where it's very difficult to push.
I gotta bring it up once again. The man on set here, still joining us, of course, from the casting booth, sitting this series out, but still enjoying the matches. He's the one who called it. Transitional setups will win this game. And has that ever been the story so far for Sentinels, with some of the most specific and fastest moving rotations that we've seen in tournament play so far? Now a rocket grab for Lethal. First one will not connect, but he will continue to advance on pillars and tires.
I certainly know from playing myself, I really dislike trying to play the ball game in station, in tram. So I love what we've seen from Sentinels. I think they are the same. They don't like that push. They don't try to break that setup. Instead, they bring that ball away from the area and say, no, we've just won a round where the game and the ball has always been over towards A tower. Let's get it back towards there again. We know how to break their setups. We know how to work as a unit, and we can go for those unorthodox moves down towards Neons if we need to. It's a very closely contested round 2 here, but Sentinels still putting points on the board.
Frosty able to fly in there and get that kill on Lucid. Been a great back and forth between Lucid and Lethal all series long. Been a pleasure watching these two duke it out for the entire series, and not just this series, but our entire grand finals, to be honest. Lethal just trying to control tires, now checking out a courtyard, wanting to see if anyone might have gotten through. It's a back whack for Snakebite off screen, and a great slide here from Lethal as he gets into the back of PD with a PD hold. Once again, somehow Gaskin, we're back into the police department.
Yeah, just more scrappy time though for Sentinels. They will lap this up all day, and here comes Optic Gaming starting to get a little bit more desperate to stop the ball time, as they know if one hold just gets out of control, they will lose this grand finals. And it's not just a grand finals where they lost 1 best of 5, it would have been 2 best of 5s. It's what they did to Cloud9 just a couple of weeks ago, and now Sentinels are on the horizon of doing it to them.
Right, it's what they did, and in this version, it could be even more convincing version of that story. Rockets about to pop up in 7 seconds. Now you hear priority going down onto tires as well as PD. They're going to need to make sure that no one is behind them. A player on B stairs caution, so they'll need to be very careful here. But like you said, this really has been Sentinels ready to run away with this game. They're already at the 64-point mark. Once again, Lucid versus Lethal, and Lucid the one who's won the last few versions of that exchange.
Rocket's still in the hands of a member of Sentinels. I think he was just about able to get away, and yeah, it's Frosty who gets the kill onto Trippy, and it looks like he's still got one more. So even though the ball is down bottom middle, Sentinels have a 30-kill lead, and they've got Rockets in their possession. They can get aggressive here. Lucid falls. They've got the player advantage. They can collapse here onto Optic Gaming and get some serious ball time if they're quick about it.
Yeah, it should be a snag as well coming in from Lethal. He's ready to grab the ball right away, but before he does that, he's actually going to wisely challenge and force Lucid off of the C stairs and maybe try to get away with the ball. Teammate has already done so, so they're going to bring that to Cafe and keep ragging up time. They're 30 points away from closing out the series.
I think Optic have got maybe one more push in them here. If they're not perfect with it, it's going to be a victory for Sentinels. They all need to push as a unit. Lucid the first one to push into Cafe here, but does get taken down. Trippy falls, so does APG. It's 3 members of Optic that have gone down now, and with one only alive, you've got to imagine Sentinels are just about going to get over the line here without barring a miracle, a massive grenade. Anything can be sent over. Sentinels have done the unthinkable. From losers bracket, I don't know, 12, they've managed to win back to back to back to back to back to become grand final champions, and they will be the #1 seed, Bravo, going into Rally.
How quickly the narrative has changed here. Optic Gaming on top of the world just hours ago, 1 game away